another video. My name is Mark and welcome to MGA Drive, guys. Welcome to part 2 of the Mountune cold air induction system. If you want to follow the last video, guys, it was a bit of an install. I decided to go for the Mountune kit on the RS. And guys, I've got to say, I've been trying to come up with some words to describe this Mountune kit, guys. I've got to say, I absolutely love it. If anyone is thinking of installing one or buying one, I highly recommend it. I honestly didn't think it was going to make much of a difference in sound. Obviously, the most important thing is power. Kick it back and obviously give it a bit of a squirt. You can definitely feel it. I've got to say, you can definitely feel it. It gives you that throwback now in the seat, obviously, which should have had it. Obviously, from buying the car since new, it was sort of like that's what was missed with the car. So there's definitely an increase in power. Mountune claim roughly around 11% of increase of airflow through the actual air filter and obviously through the throttle body, guys. So really happy with that. As in the noise, at the start I did ask you guys obviously to comment down below in regards to the heat shield, whether I should take it off, and I've got to say I did decide to take it off, and I drove around with it probably for about 2 days just to sort of get my head around it, what it actually sounds like. Obviously early mornings, driving to work was pretty quiet, and I've got to say it sort of seemed like it was a little bit, maybe a little bit over the top. No sort of connection between myself and the car. It was sort of like that sound with inside the cabin was missed. It was sort of like it was a lot more going on outside. So guys, I did decide to put that heat shield back on. Obviously, if you would have looked at the heat shield, there is like a little crease within that heat shield. Obviously, once the bonnet is shut, it actually does press on that rubber where the airbox, where it actually is. And it's actually there for a purpose. Ford have made that there for a purpose. Once that is closed down, it is going to rush more air into the airbox. So, cut a long story short, I actually do prefer it. Then for a while, I actually did try putting that little rubber bung back on the actual side of the air filter, just again to sort of see what it was like. Just a bit of a comparison, obviously compared to the stock standard one and the actual K&M one that I had, where it was actually blocked off on the edge. And that was actually okay too, to run it with it, whether you're in sports mode, normal mode, track mode. It was definitely still an increase in power. This actually didn't really stop. You know, obviously power wise, I couldn't really notice any difference. It was more obviously that air sucking through that air filter. This definitely did quieten it down. But I have taken it off again. I have gotten used to it. Sort of when you are cruising, you can hear that induction sound. It doesn't bother me, it's actually quite nice. But obviously when you do get on it, roughly around 2,500 Ks, you do get that real throaty, deep sound. It's definitely punchy. I've got to say, I didn't think it was going to make much of a difference. There is one thing that I am looking at getting probably for it, and that's that sound suppression chamber, if I'm saying it right. Mountune make it as well too. So they reckon that's supposed to play a little bit of a part, obviously with the, if you want to call it stage 1 with the Mountune kit. So that's something that I'm looking at getting as well. And then obviously down the track, maybe the Mountune access port as well too, guys. So that way it's sort of like a bit of a bundle where it's all going to play a big part. But like I said, for stage 1, I've got to say I'm pretty happy with the Mountune kit. Like I said, guys, it seems to, the turbo seems to spool up a lot quicker. Definitely a lot more bangs and pops from the exhaust. So guys, even if you are cruising, obviously normal speeds, it's like there's no effort. Obviously you don't even have to touch the throttle, the accelerator. It just makes for even a smoother drive. I know it is a performance car, but like I said, it's just changed the whole aspect of the car to me. That's my opinion. Like I said, I highly recommend the Mountune kit. I know there are different makes and models out there, but I highly recommend it, guys. Honestly, check them out. Like I said last time, I want to also say a big shout out to Ben from Pro Speed Racing, guys. If anyone is interested in buying one of these Mountune kits, like I said, hit them up. Pro Speed Racing, they obviously do the access port, obviously the cold air induction system. They do a bit also with Cobb, obviously your catback exhaust systems, your intercooler, and obviously plenty of more parts as well too, guys. It obviously doesn't have to be just Focus RS related, it can be any other car manufacturers. So look them up, and I'm sure the boys will look after you. So guys, if you're probably wondering what the fuel consumption is now with the Mountune kit, obviously, is it better, is it worse? Obviously, is the turbo sucking more, is it going to drink more fuel? Well, I got to say, it's actually better. If anything, it's actually sitting at 8.5 litres per 100 at the moment. And I used to always roughly sit on around 9.5 litres per 100, 10 litres. So obviously 8.5, we'll take that any day. Obviously any saving with fuel is always a nice thing too, guys. So definitely a thumbs up with that on the Mountune. What the install was like on the Mountune kit, I got to say, it was pretty easy. Probably took me roughly about an hour and a half. Obviously I was doing the editing as well, stop start with the video camera, so it'd probably take you guys a little bit less. But there was nothing really major to it, nothing really hard. Everything was pretty much straightforward. So if you're thinking about installing one, I'm sure you guys will be fine. But comment down below, guys, let us know if there's anything that you want to know, obviously, about the Mountune kit. And I also want to say a big shout out, we've had a few new subscribers to MGA Drive, so that's pretty exciting. Keep them coming through, guys, means a lot. So obviously thanks for watching as always, and don't forget, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, and talk to you guys on the next one. Rightio, guys, thanks, ciao, bye.